of federal buildings for sale, including the RFK Department of Justice building and the headquarters of the FBI. That list has since been taken down, but the message is clear. The administration has its mind set on disposing unused and underused government properties, which my next guest says provides a great buying opportunity for prime real estate, which could be converted into apartments or condos. Joining us now is Don Peebles, chair and CEO of the Peebles Corporation. Of course, a member of our mock Fed panel, too, and that's coming up next week. Don, welcome. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
So you've talked a lot before about how, in D.C., where you spend a lot of time, there's all these vacant office buildings and what to do about it. Do you think they are about to do something about it, or is return to office going to take care of this, fill those buildings up with workers?
I do think there's more to come. As we've talked about before, that the district market has declined. It's the lowest utilization rates of any major market in the country, has the highest real vacancy rates of any place in the country because the federal government is not utilizing about 80% of its space every day. So now the government is focused on that with this new administration. And one of the keys here is that it takes a lot longer actually, to sell federally owned buildings. It has to go through a comprehensive process to be declared surplus property and then go through a process and ultimately auctioned off or an RFP for leases. But what people don't focus on is that every government lease with the federal government is subject to annual appropriations. And so by Congress. So if Congress does not appropriate the money for a particular lease, the federal government can immediately cancel that lease. And the president cannot obligate the government for more than 1 year at a time, which is why that provision is there. So I expect out of the 44 million square feet that the federal government leases in Washington, D.C., I expect about half of that to get terminated.
But do you really think people are going to convert it into condos and so forth? I mean, even with distressed office real estate in New York and elsewhere, a lot of people say the value just isn't there. It's really expensive to try to convert. Some of them end up being teardowns.
Well, no, look, I agree. Not all buildings are convertible. Look, we did our first office conversion into hospitality in Washington, D.C., of all places, 30 years ago. And we just finished an office to residential conversion in New York. Not all buildings, and the vast majority of most office buildings in D.C. are not suitable for conversions, but many are. And I think those will go first. And those will be the ones that will create some economic opportunity. Think for a moment that D.C. needs another 320,000 housing units in the District of Columbia alone.
You know, Don, Kelly and I both went to high school and college in Virginia. We got a lot of friends in the D.C. area, and I know this. If you bet against D.C., you've got your you-know-what handed to you. We had Bill Clinton talk about federal cuts. Barack Obama and Joe Biden in 2011 had a multi-billion-dollar savings plan to cut waste and fraud in the government. Not nearly as big as DOGE, I get it. This is not the first time either party has tried to cut some of the fat out of D.C. We know that it exists. Are you, though, of the mind that this will turn out the same, that if you bet against D.C., you're going to lose? Or is this time, this DOGE thing, is this really going to be more serious and bigger?
Well, look, one, I'm from Washington, D.C., and I started our company in Washington, D.C.
I didn't randomly bring it up.
Right, I know. And look, we've set up an asset management firm, Donahue Douglas, to focus on these office conversions. D.C., before DOGE, before Trump came into office, the utilization was the lowest in the country for commercial office space. It makes no sense for the federal government to be paying for office space that 75% of it is not being utilized. So there will be a downsizing of that space, whether or not Trump administration ever started this. Now they're doing it quicker because that's the one way you get the benefit of savings, and our government gets the benefit of savings, is to act quickly and not to do this in a slow walking pace. And the quickest way to do it is going to be offices. But D.C. is the nation's capital of the most powerful nation in the world. It's a multifaceted market. And frankly, the local government has been resting on its laurels, focusing on being the nation's capital and letting the federal government dictate what the economy looks like there, as opposed to diversifying the economy, like, say, Mike Bloomberg did with New York to make New York a tech hub, which is now one of the most dominant tech players in the world. So I think this gives D.C. a chance to reinvent itself. But reinvent itself, it will need to do, because a tsunami is coming.